Hello and welcome to the TID Water and Power Podcast. I'm your host, Constance Anderson, and on this month's episode, we're discussing student internships. At TID, internships are more than just a summer job. They're an opportunity for students to get hands-on experience with the district, contribute to meaningful projects, and understand what it's like to keep the water and power flowing for our community. And with National Intern Day quickly approaching on the last Thursday of July, there's no better time to shine a light on TID's internships. Later in this episode, I'll get the chance to interview a few of TID's current interns to talk about their experience. But first, I'm joined by TID's Director of Human Resources, Jorian Reed, to discuss the TID Internship Program, the qualifications needed for an internship, and the takeaways that can come out of an internship with the district. Jorian, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Jorian, you previously joined us on the podcast in June of 2024 for an episode discussing the various careers and career paths at TID. But for those who haven't picked up on that episode yet, would you give us a little bit about your background and how you came to the district?
Sure. So I joined the district in 2018 as a Director of Human Resources. Prior to TID, I spent just over 20 years in the private sector working in human resources.
All right. So before we dive into the internships at TID, I think it'd be helpful to give an overview of kind of the district as a whole. Can you give me a breakdown of how many employees there are at TID and the different areas in which they work?
TID currently has about 500 employees across 5 administrations in 27 different departments. Recently, we've been quite busy with hiring based on the approval of some additional full-time allocations and backfilling internal employees as they've promoted to fill vacancies created by retirements. So over the last 3 years, we've hired just around 40 new employees a year, which is a great opportunity for our current and past interns.
Okay. Now, when you say allocation, can you tell us what that refers to for those who don't speak TID HR?
Sure, that would be a full-time position. And
is that something that happens on the regular, or are those harder to come by?
So it depends on the work that's budgeted for the upcoming multiple years. And so as our capital projects increase and we look out at the duration of those, additional resources were identified as being needed to, successfully complete those projects. And so based on the work, they were approved.
All right. So let's get into the internship program then. Tell us a little bit about the program, just kind of high level.
Sure. It's an opportunity for current students or recent graduates to work for the district for a limited duration, usually between 3 and 6 months. In the fall of each year, as department managers are preparing their budgets for the upcoming year, they evaluate their work, their available resources, and they determine if they have specific projects or other meaningful work that is best suited to give to an intern. If they identify the need for an intern, they then put it in their budget, and we begin the recruiting process.
Okay. And you mentioned in the fall of each year, but is that the only time that TID offers internships?
Generally, internships will run starting in May or June for either 3 or 6 months. But there are occasions where internships will start outside of the standard, summer season.
Okay, very good. So kind of general question, why does TID offer internships?
Really to give students hands-on experience in the field they're studying, and it's one of our many avenues we've established to develop talent for future openings. Being one of the larger employers in the area, it's also a way to support our local students at both the junior college and university level, and also students from this area that are attending colleges outside the area but happen to return home for the summer.
Perfect. All right. And how long has TID offered internships?
I don't have the exact date, but looking back, it's been decades.
It's been going on for some time then. All right. Can you tell us what types of internships are available at TID?
Yeah, the departments that typically hire interns are engineering, information technology, which we also refer to as IT, surveying, and then communications. But we occasionally have openings in other departments. For example, this year, our aquatic biologist brought in an intern. So the departments can vary year to year based on the projects that they're working on.
Excellent. I know communications has a regular stream of interns that come through our area, and we've always been really, really pleased with what they bring to the table and the extra help that they provide. So we will be one of your regulars for sure. All right. So let's talk then a little bit about the duties or the projects that interns get to work on. Is this kind of a come in and file all our errant papers for the summer, or what sort of things are they working on?
Yeah, we certainly hope not. So our goal is to give interns meaningful work that complements their studies. So the tasks they're given can vary from being responsible for a portion of a larger project or being given multiple smaller projects. So our managers do a great job at identifying work that is complex enough to challenge the intern, but that can be taught fairly quickly so that we and the intern can get the most value out of their short time with us.
Again, from a communications perspective, we really try to incorporate our interns into our department in every way that we can. They're considered a contributing member of our team, and we really look to them for their perspective, usually a younger perspective. They're a fresh set of eyes on kind of what we've been doing as a communications team, and really, really value their feedback.
That's great.
Okay, so where do these interns come from then? You had mentioned, maybe they're a local student who's gone away to school and come back for the summer or winter break, but where in general are we finding these interns?
Yeah, so it's a good mix of students from our local junior colleges as well as universities. So Modesto Junior College, Merced College, Stan State, UC Merced. And then from other universities that offer majors that line up with our business and where there is a larger population of students from this area, like Sac State, Fresno State, and also Cal Poly. We're always looking for students that have an interest in finding a career interlock once they graduate, whether they're originally from this area or attending school here and have discovered that they'd like to stay.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what qualifications are needed to get an internship at TID.
Yeah, so we're looking for, any current students that have completed at least 1 year of college studies or recent graduates. Generally, the most qualified interns are those applying for a position in the field that they're studying or have a degree in. Besides the technical skills, we're looking for interns that have strong, durable skills like communication, problem solving, and working on a team. Some of our internships also do require a minimum GPA.
Oh, that would not be an internship that I would have earned in college, most likely. But good for them. I can see where that is definitely appropriate in some cases. All right. So we talked a little bit about this already, but internships, I think, typically happen during the summer, but I know even from the communications perspective, we have interns all throughout the year. Tell us a little bit more about timing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So as I said earlier, a majority of them do start in the May to June timeframe when, traditionally a summer break will be for a university, whether they're on the quarter or semester kind of timing. And then again, lasts anywhere between 3 and a max of 6 months. And then depending on the department's needs, it's not to say that come, January 1st, they wouldn't post for an intern, but it's understanding that they are limiting really their applicant pool of students if the internship's going on, during the normal school semester or quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you're competing with a school schedule and whatever other activities the student might have going on. Okay, so I'm sure the specifics differ depending on the area, but can you talk about the role that TID interns play at the district?
Yeah, so you described it perfectly earlier. So they play a key role in moving projects forward and moving other work along. Because they're an extension of the team that they're working on, they're contributing to their department and really the district's overall success, similar to a full-time employee. It's just at a limited duration of time.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you have any internships in college?
So unfortunately, I didn't. As I was going through school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I didn't pursue internships before entering the workforce actually in my profession. So looking back and now, being in human resources for, almost 30 years, I think not having done an internship put me at a disadvantage because it took me more time than others who did do internships to really understand office norms and expectations once I entered the workforce in a professional capacity.
Yeah. And that's a good point, because I think that is a big part of what our interns experience and learn about when they come to TID is just how does an office function? How do you behave? How do you build relationships with your coworkers?
Yeah, it's not just the work. It's a lot of those skills that, you hear about them in college and they may have some kind of mock settings, but to actually be engrossed in it for 3 to 6 months is very different.
Yeah, absolutely. I know from my perspective, I did a number of internships as I was going through college, and each one kind of gave me the opportunity to see a different area of business. Like you, I was a little undecided going through college as to what my end goal was. So I appreciated the opportunity to work in different environments, different types of work, and really be able to use those opportunities to kind of narrow down what appealed to me and what didn't. Okay, so very important question. Are TID internships paid internships?
Yes, they are.
Ah, that's certainly an intriguing part to them.
That's a good incentive.
For sure. All right. And how do internships differ from a typical full-time position or maybe an entry-level position at TID?
Yeah, the main difference is internships are temporary positions that had a defined start and end date. And like we've said, generally between 3 months and no longer than 6 months. Full-time positions are not temporary and don't have a defined end date.
Okay. And how do TID internships differ from TID's apprentice program? And then what about seasonal or temporary employees?
Yeah, the differences between our 9 apprenticeship programs is that an apprentice is a full-time, non-temporary position, so quite different. As it relates to seasonal and temporary employees, the similarity between interns and seasonal or temporary employees is the temporary short-term nature of the role. Like interns, seasonal and temporary employees don't work more than 6 months in any 12-month period. The difference between interns and seasonal or temporary employees is the type of work that interns do. Seasonal and temporary employees generally work in our construction and maintenance department and also for the Don Pedro Recreation Agency, performing more manual tasks or light administrative work, where interns are generally assigned to work in the field that they're studying, like engineering or IT. So the work is generally more complex.
Okay. So later in the episode, we're going to be sitting down with a few of our current TID interns, but give us a little preview. Tell us about the current group of interns that are currently at TID.
Yeah, currently we have 7 interns in 4 areas or departments in the district. We have 3 in our IT department, 2 in power plant engineering, as I mentioned, 1 with our aquatic biologist, and at this time, I think we even have 1 in communications.
We definitely do, and we appreciate him very much. Shout out, Adon.
Yes.
All right. So on average then, how many interns would you say we have at TID at any one time?
Sure. On average, we look at about 10 interns per year.
Okay. Excellent. With always have room for more, right?
Yes.
All right. So for these current interns or any interested prospective interns, do these internships ever turn into full-time jobs?
They certainly can. I don't have the exact number, but I can think of at least 6 current employees that interned for us prior to being hired on full-time. When we're out recruiting for interns, we make it clear that there isn't a direct path to full-time employment through the internship program. But when a full-time opening becomes available in a department where an intern has worked, the fact they've interned for the department may give them an advantage over other entry-level applicants.
Yeah, it definitely gives an opportunity for the employer to sort of preview that candidate's skills and, get to know how they work with others and what their capabilities are.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I would think that would definitely help. And maybe less for our prospective interns and more for supervisors or managers who are listening and interested in hiring an intern. What does the commitment look like for a department or a supervisor?
First, really identifying a portion of a larger project or a standalone smaller project that would make sense to give an intern. After they've done that, then it's being prepared to conduct initial training with the intern and being available during the duration of the internship to provide support and advice. We find that the interns are generally very eager to learn and quickly understand what they're responsible for and work fairly autonomously. Excellent.
And I will say, with the work that goes into recruitment and interviewing and bringing an intern on board, it's again always been a great experience for the communications team to have that person working with us. And I really do think that in all cases, I'll be so bold as to say, I think we've really added value to their learning process. They, have spent obviously a number of years in school, but I think there's just something different about being hands-on and working in a agency like TID on the day-to-day.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of each intern's time with us, we give them an exit interview and ask them, a number of questions. But one of them is, did your experience with TID tie back to your studies? And we find that predominantly that the work we're having them do absolutely ties with their studies. And so there's a good connection there, and in just enriching, their learning experience with real life, hands-on tasks.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. All right. How is someone who is interested in earning an internship with TID go about finding that position?
All of our internship positions we'll list on our website, so TID.org, and then under the careers tab. And then generally during the fall semester, almost close to winter break, we will go to different job fairs at universities to promote our upcoming internship opportunities for that upcoming summer.
Well, Jorian, thank you so much for kind of giving us the overview of internships at TID. Like I said, we're going to talk next with some of our current interns. But before we let you go, is there anything else to add?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to our current group of interns for all the work they do. Has a very big contribution to the district, and also the department managers. It isn't without effort on their part to help develop these students in the field that they're studying in, and so appreciate their effort as well.
Awesome, thank you so much. I'm now sitting down with Emily Wilson. Emily, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So can you first tell me what department you are currently interning with?
I am interning with the Power Plant Engineering Department.
Okay. And for those who might be unfamiliar with power plant engineering and all that encompasses, what is that exactly?
So we cover a variety of different things up in power plant engineering. Predominantly, it's dam safety and hydro, all of that kind of stuff with power generation. You know what I mean?
Okay, very good. And I understand that you are actually returning to TID for your second summer internship. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. So tell us a little bit about internship 1 versus 2.
Last summer, it was very fun, I have to say, but the interview panel was a little scary. But this summer, I'm continuing different projects that I worked on from last summer and then bringing in new ones as well. Yeah, it's really fun. I enjoy it.
All right. Well, and clearly you must have made an impact if they have brought you back for round 2. So that's great. All right. Now, are you currently in school?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And where are you going to school, and what is your line of study?
So I'm going to Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, Arizona, and I am studying civil engineering.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is your second summer with TID as an intern. Have you interned anywhere prior to TID?
No, TID was my first internship.
Okay, and what was it that interested you about the work at TID or the internship specifically?
This internship truly covers quite a bit of engineering, different scopes like mechanical, electrical, civil. So being well-rounded in that sense really appealed to me, and then being close to home as well.
Okay, very good. So tell us a little bit about some of the exciting projects you've been working on this summer.
So this summer I've been working on some different AutoCAD drawings. And for those who don't know what AutoCAD is, it's a civil engineering and other similar scopes in that sense program where you can do drawings and all of that, but virtually.
Very cool. Okay, so lots of AutoCAD work. And what other projects have you been working on this summer?
So this summer, I've also been working on testing piezometers out at Turlock Lake. That is more field work oriented, but then there's also miscellaneous tasks that I've been doing in the office, working on document management, more AutoCAD in that sense, So all of that kind of stuff associated with engineering documents, drawings, everything, you name it.
Okay, and I'm not going to ask you to get into specifically what a piezometer is because I feel like that could be a podcast session in and of itself. But these kind of sound like pretty big deal projects to have an intern working on. Is that intimidating at all?
At times it is intimidating, but I know that I've got plenty of great resources to help me out with it. So it kind of helps me to not be as frightened by it,
Okay, good. All right. So what would you say with regard to what you've been studying and the work that you're doing at TID? Has the internship been a valuable complement to your studies?
Absolutely. I was able to bring back double my AutoCAD skills back to school, and all of the stuff that I had learned in my classes, I could apply here as well.
Okay.
So it transferred over very well.
Excellent. Oh, great. Glad to hear it. All right. So what would you say surprised you most about the district? Or what did you think you knew coming in that has changed either in your first year or from year 1 to year 2?
One of the major things that I noticed was the extreme amount of overlap between every single department in this entire district. You wouldn't think that power plant engineering would cross paths with construction management, fabrication, all of that kind of stuff, but we do. And we have all of those people that we use as resources.
Very good. And even crossing over with communications.
Exactly.
We've worked with power plant engineering on a number of different things. So yeah, I would reinforce that there is definitely a lot of crossover, no matter the project, no matter the department.
Absolutely.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the hiring or the interview process. You mentioned that in your first year's internship with TID that was a little bit intimidating.
Yeah, it was a little scary at first. I had quite a few. Everyone from the department was on the interview panel my first summer.
Wow.
So it was a little intimidating, but, I'm glad that I could get through the tough part like that. And then this summer, it was just kind of a refamiliarization with the group and all of that. So it was a smaller interview panel, everything like that.
All right. And you had clearly proven yourself in year 1, so you knew you were bringing the skills.
Hopefully, right?
Very good. So what would you say your advice is for others who might be interested in an internship either at TID or just in general?
Good for you guys for getting out there and trying to get an internship. It's definitely a useful thing to apply to your studies, to put on your resume, everything of that sort. Another piece of advice I would definitely recommend is making sure that your resume is in its tip-top shape, because that's what I've been told by most of the department here, other people that I've worked with, saying hey, your resume is really good. That's pretty much non-negotiable when you're trying to go with that,
Yeah. And in many cases, when you're interviewing for something, that's the first impression that your potential employer has of you. So I would second that advice.
Yeah.
All right. So then I guess the next question would be, will you be coming back for year 3 as an intern?
I will be graduating this next year. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll be looking for a full-time position, but hey, if they have an open position, I would be more than happy to take it. Yeah.
We'll see how that timing works out.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, Emily, thanks so much for being with us on the podcast.
Well, thank you.
I'm excited to welcome to the podcast Adon Maldonado. Adon, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me here, Constance.
Great. So while we appreciate all of our guests on the podcast, I might be a little bit partial to you because you are interning in my department, the communications department.
Yeah.
Excellent. And when did you start with us?
Well, I started in March of this year with my internship in communications.
Excellent. And you recently graduated. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Where did you go to school and what did you get your degree in?
Yeah, so I graduated from Stanislaus State here in Turlock, and I got my degree. It was my bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in marketing.
Fantastic. Now, is this your first internship?
Yeah, so it is my first internship. I did some work at Stan State, some student positions, but this is officially my first internship.
Okay, very good. And I'm sure you're having a great time.
Totally, I am.
I didn't pay him to say that.
No,
All right, so what interested you about earning an internship at TID?
What interested me about having an internship with TID was being able to learn more about how a business like TID manages its communications, its outreach, and just being able to learn more about the software being used, such as Adobe software and Canva.
Okay, great. So, Adon, tell us a little bit about some of the exciting projects that you've been working on during your internship.
I've been working on some career spotlight videos in which we interview different people from the district, and they get to explain what they do, and it just gives an insight to people onto what positions are available here at TID. I've also been working on National Intern Day. For that, I've been taking pictures of some of the interns here at TID, and it is just an opportunity for us to showcase them and the hard work they have been putting here during their internship.
Excellent. And that'll be a great compliment to the podcast when that releases.
Totally. Yeah. Other than that, I have been working on some graphics for internal and external communication as well.
Fantastic. Great. All right. So would you say that as a recent graduate, the work that you've been doing in your internship is a complement to your studies? Are you able to apply kind of what you learned in the classroom to what you're doing now?
Totally. It definitely gave me a new perspective on what it's like to be on the other side of a business, not only learning it from looking at books or looking at my classes, but also having the opportunity to learn how a business does its public outreach.
Excellent. What would you say surprised you most about the district? Or what did you think you knew coming in that maybe has changed since you've started working here?
What surprised me the most about the district is how big it actually is, how many substations, energy centers, and also how many positions exist here at TID.
Very good. Yeah, it's definitely surprising once you kind of get into it and realize our territory is one thing, but we have so many different facilities and so much infrastructure within that territory. There's really a lot going on.
Yeah, totally.
All right. And how did you find the hiring or the interview process for your internship? And remember, I was on your panel, so be kind.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So for the whole hiring process, of course, I had to submit my resume. Then I got an email in which I had to provide 3 different samples of videos or graphics. And I had to describe the audience, the intent, and why those graphics were done. After that, I was scheduled for an interview. I got to interview with the communications department, which was a really nice interview. And after the interview, something happened that had never happened to me in another interview, in which they put me in a room, they gave me a laptop and some instructions, and they were basically like, you're on your own. So they gave me some instructions to do some graphics, to make a video, and to make a writing submission as well. So it was interesting that after the interview, they actually allowed you to be able to demonstrate what skills you have when it comes to making videos, graphics, and also writing as well.
Okay. So here you thought the interview was over and the hard part was behind you.
Yeah.
And then we put you in another room and had you go through this exercise.
Totally.
Which was easier or more difficult? Was the interview tougher or was the exercise tougher?
I would say the interview, it was probably tougher because for the exercise, I was on my own. I was by myself, and I already knew how to, I had experience making videos, making graphics, writing captions for social media as well. So for the interview, I had to prepare more and learn more about the district as well.
Okay, very good. Well, clearly you rose to the top because you're here with us today. So
Totally.
Thank you for that. All right. So what advice would you have for others who might be interested in an internship, either at TID or just an internship in general?
I would say definitely do some research on the company. If it is here at TID, do some research at TID. Look at our website, our social media, our LinkedIn. different news that talk about TID, just to get an understanding of the district and the impact that it has on customers and other stakeholders as well. Also, if you're applying for a certain internship that requires software, get familiar with the software. There's a lot of free information on the internet, on YouTube. Even some universities provide the LinkedIn Learning for free. So there are a lot of tools that you can use, and that can help you to get ahead in case something like what happened to me happens, where they ask you to actually show your work and to demonstrate why you're fit for the position.
Very good. Excellent. And do you feel like you came into the interview well prepared?
Yeah, well, I have definitely learned a lot more now that I'm here.
Sure.
I know I had some understanding of doing graphics and doing videos as well, but this internship has allowed me to learn so much as well.
Excellent. Very good. Well, and that's the whole purpose. So we're glad to hear you say that.
Yep.
Adon, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now joining us is Brian Soto. Brian, thanks for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
So can you start by telling me what department you are currently interning in and when you started your internship?
Yes, so I currently am in the IT department, and I started late March.
Late March. Okay, very good. And are you currently in school or have you already graduated?
Currently, I'm still in school.
Okay.
I'm over at UC Merced. I'm going into my senior year.
Going into your senior year. Excellent. Congratulations. And what is it that you are studying? What major or minor specifically?
I'm studying in computer science and engineering.
Okay, fantastic. Tell me, what interested you about an internship with TID?
Well, to say, the first thing that really interested me to be interning here at TID is for sure, being a local here in Turlock. I went to school at Pittman High School.
Okay.
And, I've always heard TID, especially in my bills, electricity bills and whatnot. And also using their pretty handy outage map. I had to use that a couple times.
Sure.
See like the progress of an outage in my area. And then also additionally, the relation with my school, UC Merced, with and TID, with the Project Nexus.
Yeah, there's lots of cool partnerships that have happened between UC Merced and TID. That's a great opportunity for both organizations, truly. So, well, very good. We're glad that that familiarity led you to this internship. Tell us about some of the exciting projects you've been working on this summer.
For sure. We're currently in the IT department. We're doing some department rotations. So it's pretty cool to have to be in the EMS/cybersecurity side and the help desk side. So currently I'm in the help desk section of the IT department. And then 2 weeks ago or last week, I was in the EMS/cybersecurity portion of the IT department. And currently in help desk, it's a good plethora. It's a good variety of tasks that we have to do. The recent task I had to do was reinstall and troubleshoot some software with the user. And then last week, over there in the EMS/cybersecurity side of the IT department, I had to configure like a network switch, essentially just one of our devices that we have to use within the data centers there.
Okay, cool. And I'm really going to resist the temptation to ask you about who at TID is the most technologically needy. I won't make you divulge that. But I do think it is really cool the way the IT department has their internship set up, where you do kind of rotate around to different areas within the IT department. I would think for someone studying computer science that it would really help you identify, like, I definitely gravitate towards this area, or I know I want to stay away from this area. Have you found that to be the case as you kind of move through the department? Yeah,
100% for sure. I really enjoyed this rotation that we've done within the IT department, just because it exposes me a lot more than just, help desk duties.
Sure, absolutely. Now, given the fact that you are still a student, would you say that the work that you've been doing here at TID has been a complement to your studies and what you're learning in the classroom?
Oh, 100%. I feel as though over there at UC Merced, I haven't yet been able to really work on like hands-on portions, just because it's really theory based. So it's again really cool that I've been able to work on like some switches here at TID.
Okay, can you give us a high-level definition of what a switch is?
So essentially, a switch is just kind of like a device or component within our within like a network like center.
Okay.
It essentially, how I like to think about it, it can connect a computer A to computer B pretty efficiently, and there's like several other ports, and then I feel as though you could really delve into this. I could get into like the whole OSI model of things.
Okay,
when it comes to that.
That might be a whole different podcast episode. So we'll table that. But thank you for the explanation. I appreciate that. So, what would you say has surprised you most about the district, or maybe what did you think you knew of the district coming in that has changed since you started your internship?
One thing that really surprised me is like how many different people I get to see. And when I say that, I mean, for example, I see a lot of people from our WDO section, our water distribution operators. And then I see a lot of PCC people as well. So it's really cool to see like different, I guess, departments really come into help desk. And I kind of learn a little bit more about what their duties are.
Yeah, what their duties are, what their needs are. Yeah, and be able to help throughout the district.
Exactly.
Very cool. Excellent. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the hiring or the interview process. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, I feel as though the process was pretty nice. I really enjoyed the hiring process here, TID, especially with my mentor and supervisor, Vanessa. She made it very streamlined and easy. For example, I've had other places or interviews where it takes like a really long while for them to get back to you. But, thankfully, again, Vanessa, she was able to get back to me in probably like a week or less. So it was really nice that she kept in contact during the process.
Yeah, she's kind of a rock star. All right. So what advice would you have for others who are interested in either internships in general or specifically at TID?
Yeah, I would say in general, I feel as though people shouldn't feel discouraged upon rejections. Rejections are going to come. And trust me, during my whole process of searching for internships or even jobs, you're going to get a lot of rejections. But, you kind of take those rejections and then look at them to build upon yourselves and just improve. Okay.
Very, very wise words. I appreciate that. All right. Well, Brian, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. We're glad you're here as an intern and happy that you sat down with us today.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for tuning in to the TID Water and Power Podcast. You can find TID on Facebook at facebook.com/TurlockID, on Instagram at TurlockID, and on LinkedIn as the Turlock Irrigation District. I'm your host, Constance Anderson. We'll see you again next time.